Hello, Ashley Nance here to share the three most dangerous children's books I have ever read. It seems like an odd post to make with parenting and with talking to our children in mind, but it's important to know kind of what to look for in books and how to spot something that could be potentially dangerous for your kids. And before we move forward, I just want to say that I don't think that these authors are trying to hurt people. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, so I'm going to go there and just say that we say things all the time that we don't realize the effect that they have. And sometimes these concepts are so ingrained and they look so much like true things that it is frighteningly similar to good things. And sometimes that's the scariest, most harmful thing. So let's talk about that in three books that I have read that are dangerous. And first, I'm going to start with the third place, second place, and then most scary. So we'll start with Queenie Farmer Has 15 Daughters. Had 15 daughters. So in this super cute book, which is, it really is super adorable. They all are wearing black and white because they're dairy farmers. And they have cows, and I'll just open it up a little close. Let's see. I'm not going to read the whole book. That would be not fair to Anne Campbell and Holly Mead, who dedicate this book to their own mothers because they really feel like it's complimentary. And that's part of why I'm saying that people aren't necessarily trying to be harmful, but we need to be careful. So on the dedication page, you can see that she's very pregnant. Her husband is there. Her prize cows are there. And everything's happy. And on the first page, Queenie Farmer gave birth to 15 daughters, and that same day, her prize cows got away. Her husband went after them and never came back. So there's the premise for the book. On the first page, she has 15 babies born on the same day, born at home, and her husband doesn't come back. So what are some possible options for how this could go well from here? There aren't a ton, right? Because we know that babies born on the same day often have medical problems, need special care, and obviously, she cannot feed all of these children with her own body without any help, or she'd never sleep, and she would eventually, something would happen and it would be bad. So possible next steps are all of the women in the community come over every day and take turns cleaning her house, making her food, and helping her feed the babies. They teach her how to pump. They do amazing things for her to make sure that she stays hydrated because she has a lot to do. Another option would be professionals come and help her out. Maybe some of the babies spend time in other people's houses so that they can take turns feeding them and making sure they get the rest that they need. All of these would be fabulous options. Obviously suboptimal because a mother and father in the home is the best, but you can't make the man come back, and you certainly can't chase after him if you have 15 daughters. So here we have 15 babies, and hopefully the whole community comes together and helps her out. That is not how it goes. On the very next page, they're already magically 6. She doesn't have anyone to help her. She's running the farm and raising these children without any help from anyone ever. Okay, so you can start to see why this is dangerous. Because this idea of a woman can do anything that she wants without any help is scary, because you start to think if you can, then you should. And women are particularly vulnerable to this idea that if you can, you should. And you obviously can raise, clothe, work to feed, and educate, at least to some extent. It never says whether or not they go to school. 15 children. So they obviously don't have any medical problems, any special needs, anything. They eat the same thing every day, not a big deal. Not like they're the first people that have ever dealt with that. The other thing that scares me about this is that She is so devoted to doing everything for them. And the comment is when they ask for something, it's always her girls asked for so little and Queenie wanted to give them so much. So obviously she feels the stress of not being able to give them everything that she wants to give them, but also really plays up this idea that they didn't ask for much. I'm sorry. Little children ask for a lot because they need everything. So every one of these babies needed everything up till this point, approximately. It's 6-ish is around the time that my kids can start making their own sandwiches, but they can't cook their own meals. So concerning. She spends an entire week making their birthday cakes from scratch. 15 birthday cakes from scratch. No big, as long as she doesn't have to do anything on the farm like milk cows or anything, which they need that 3 times a day. Next thing they want is a bed because they've been living in the same barn loft from then until they were age 12. Do you see a potential problem? You won't go there. So she makes them beds and pillows and weaves each of their blankets and paints each of their walls over the course of 1 week. You see how this is kind of over the top? And it would be cute if she was like a fairy godmother or something and they were like little lost girls or something. She makes each their dresses and then she finds, interviews, and assigns each of their spouses. Sorry guys, this is like uber super scary helicopter mom stuff and so unhealthy for her and for all of those girls. They all get married the same day. And a year later-ish, they all bring their children back. There are let's see, some 50-something children. She watches them all once a week and then sends them home and does whatever she wants the rest of the week because she doesn't have any responsibilities, because why should she? She's already raised 15 daughters. It's scary because it's presented as a potential reality that doesn't exist. Okay? Could be worse. The Odd Duck is next from Emily Gravett. This one's a little bit creepy because it's a boy duck that finds an egg and wants everyone to believe that his egg is just as cool as their egg. And he's super sad he can't have his own egg. I get it. It can kind of stink to not be the same as everyone else. So he found one. It was beautiful. He took it. No need to wonder where he got it from or whether the actual mother thought that was fine. So they're picking on it. And then all of their eggs open up and they have their cute little babies. And then they're making fun of Duck because his egg doesn't hatch. But he's very patient and he waits. And finally it opens and out comes an alligator, and it is not clear whether or not he eats all of the people who were naysaying. I'm sorry. I'm not interested in my children thinking that it's okay to devour people who think that they're not cool. So whatever you think about whether boys should be moms, it's still not cool to think that you can eat, threaten, bully people who aren't nice to you. So some thoughts there. Super concerning is the look on this face. You probably can't see it very well in the video, but he's like, oh, it's creepy. Not to mention that said alligator could just eat the duck if they ever felt like it. Okay. Number 1, scariest book ever. Quit Calling Me a Monster by Jory John. Does that look scary to you? It looks scary to me. it kind of made my tummy turn when I saw that. Quit calling me a monster. In this delightful book, little monster man would like to be seen in a different light from being a monster. So you can kind of understand why that would be, because clearly he scares people. It makes sense since he is scary looking. Quit calling me a monster. Just stop it right this minute. I don't want to be called a monster. I can relate to this guy, right? I'm being totally and completely serious here. It really hurts my feelings. I'm not a monster. Just because I have horns and wild eyes and clumpy feet and long toenails and fangs. Just because I have a huge toothy smile that glows in the dark. Just because I roar and whoop and cackle and scream and holler and howl at the moon and howl at the sun. Okay, some of my kids do that. None of those things are actually wrong. Just because I hide under the bed or at the back of the closet or behind shower curtains or in the glove compartment. It really bothers me when you call me a monster without even thinking about it. There goes a monster, you exclaim as I pass by. Mommy, save me from the monster, you holler when I'm just trying to get some groceries. Okay, I can empathize a little bit. I know some people who have some pretty visible disabilities that have a problem with this kind of thing. So, you know, I can understand. I think there's a monster under my bed, you scream when I'm just trying to sleep. Okay, so maybe I let my claw slip out and maybe I growl in my sleep, but it's not my fault. You should see when you sleep. Okay, so we have somebody in the house watching the child that doesn't want to be perceived as a monster. It's also very annoying. It's not like I ever call you names. I don't say anything because I have good manners. I didn't mean monster exactly. I'm not, okay, I'm technically a monster. After all, I do have horns and I glow in the dark. And my parents are monsters, so it's kind of obvious. I am a monster. Okay, fine. But don't call me one. My name is Floyd Peterson. So he wants to be called by his name. Fair. Okay? You know what? I'm fine. Call him Floyd Peterson. Call the guy by his name. Even if he has a history of being bad, even if his parents were bad, great. Call him by his name. Show him some respect. Okay? Not a problem. Daddy, I think there's a monster in my closet. No, son, it's just Floyd Peterson. Oh, okay. Good night. Much better. Are you kind of shaking in your boots right now? Because I am. This is totally serious. Don't call me a monster because I want to be called by my name. Okay, good. Fantastic. I will call you by your name. You cannot sleep in my child's closet. The end. So, 3 most scary, dangerous books I've ever read, and I've read plenty. And I have recommendations usually on here of ones I like. These are ones you might want to leave on the shelf because they're not even good conversation pieces. They are all beautifully illustrated. Your children will want to watch them, read them over and over again. Trust me. I've had to have these in my house in order to make this video, and I know that that's true. Over and over again. Even this one. Oh, yeah. No. Leave them on the shelf. Take my word for it. Or don't. I mean, it's your life and your kids. Just know that just because it's a children's book and it's been published by some respectable thing doesn't mean you don't need to read it first and make your own judgment calls whether or not it's something that you want your children to have in their brains. And please, if there's a monster, call it by its name. It's always good to call monsters by their names. Don't let them sleep in your children's closet or read them a book where they think that that's okay. That's it. Thanks for watching, and we'll have more fun stuff next time. Thanks for watching. Next time. Bye.